Hello.
Hello. It's Philip and Bolanle Oladejo.
Hello.
And we just want to discuss with you. Are you sure? Yeah, we just let people know who we are. So we just want to discuss something very, very, very important. And if you are a new couple, that's my name, Philip Oladejo, and that's my wife, Oladejo. We married for 15 years, together 16 years. And we just wanted to talk about something very critical. So if you are newly married couple, and you're just expecting your first child, or you have children, and it's the first year, the second year of your marriage, we want to explore how to manage your intimacy. This is that's a very big change, because you're changing from usually just you and your wife, you and your husband. Now a new child as
Want to invade your space.
no, it's not invasion of space. No, basically, that she's right. But basically, an innocent child has invaded your privacy.
Who you called?
You invited. You sent a special invitation
And you
to that
said,
child, because when you meet together, what you're doing is basically you're sending an invitation to an innocent child, and God answer your prayer. So you've got an invited guest.
Yeah, an invited guest.
Interrupted your love life, basically.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that session, that time? That time you're about to get it on, and the child start crying,
and that's when their voice is the loudest. Because everywhere's quiet.
Yes.
And then suddenly, this baby's voice, boom,
boom, like that. Yeah,
takes over the whole atmosphere.
Baby can scream. You know that. Oh, good. Come and ask me. When we had our first child, because I didn't listen. The point is, I was not prepared. I was not trained on this. What is going to happen? Nobody. You didn't, even though you were told, you might have been trained or you've heard people. There's difference between being told or witnessing people, or having your own experience, or being told by your parent that this is what is going to happen. Now, it's true, they're telling you those things, but the fact that you have to experience it yourself to know exactly what it feels like. Imagine just you and your wife having a time together. Suddenly a child comes, and then it's time to play together, and the child start crying. Yeah. And then immediately what usually happen is that emotion suddenly disappeared.
It fades away.
It fades away. And the man thinking, goodness me, this child, come on, shut up.
That's not very nice.
Yeah, that's not very nice. But that's the reality. That is the reality. But a mother will always be drawn to her child.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I pitied that. Well, I was because a woman has to manage our husband and the child, and most of the time, a man is always trying to feed his own feeling at the time, which is sometimes uncontrollable. You just want to have a moment with your wife, and that is when your child starts crying. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, so what we've done is
what we've
done. I'm talking about now. What we've done. Hold on.
I didn't do it.
Mess me up now. Come on. All right. So what we've done is we've put together 15 lessons that we've learned.
Yes. Over
the 15 years.
Yes.
We did 15 wonderful, beautiful years on the 27th of July this year.
Ooh,
drum roll.
Is it cold?
Yeah, so we actually looked back and thought we have 15 lessons. We, of course, have more than 15 lessons.
More than 15 lessons.
But we just thought these major 15 lessons will help people.
Very critical.
Particularly those that have just been married. And even if you haven't just been married, you never stop learning.
Yes.
In the journey of marriage. And we thought, okay, we'll share our mistakes. We'll share what we learned. We'll share some of the pitfalls. We'll share some of the values. We just want to share with you so that you can apply these lessons to your life, and I'm sure that they would really help you to
Appreciate it.
manage that
Yes.
stage of your life, because marriage is in stages, trust me. It's in phases. You cannot rush it. If you miss one stage, you got to get it right before you enter into the next phase. So we talked about the lessons. One of the major lessons we learned, in these 15 years, at the very early stage when we had our baby, was managing our intimacy. I want to get that lesson right. So we put together intentionally creating time for intimacy, because now you have this new baby who has come to invade your space. Remember, you used to be those kind of couple, maybe just like us. We were very funny the early years. I remember how we used to move our mattress from the bedroom. We used to move into the living room.
From upstairs, moving downstairs,
the living
room, watching
and then
TV.
we watch TV.
Oh, it was such
we
a
just
nice.
come back from work,
It was really nice.
get into the shower, put our mattress down there.
Yes.
So nice.
It was a
we
great
had our
moment.
Friday nights, candlelight dinner.
Yes.
And everything was just us. We really enjoyed those
Really
few
nice.
months.
Yes.
And then boom, baby arrives.
Yes.
I remember from the very first day the baby came into the house. My
It's a
God.
shock.
It was a shock to our sister. We thought we were prepared for it, but I don't think we were at all.
Things they don't teach you
at all.
during marriage counseling.
Yeah, you get to experience it for
Yourself. There's no even there's no way we can tell you now. But you have to experience it yourself. But the thing is, what this would do is to prepare you if you are just newly married, or if you're just a young family, a young couple.
Expecting a baby now.
Oh, yeah, expecting a baby. So if you are just married, or you are expecting a baby, or you recently have a baby, we want you to know that if care is not taken, that love life will begin to fade.
Yeah, it becomes watered down, not because you're not still in love.
Yes.
But it's just because
Other
now your
activities.
attention is divided.
Absolutely.
Your attention is divided. The babies demand your attention 24/7. I remember our son would not he wouldn't even stay in his crib.
No.
Never stayed in his own crib, never stayed in his own bed. What he did was he was on your chest. I remember the first night.
Yeah, they're nice.
He was on your chest
All
the
through.
whole night.
This child, beautiful, wonderful child, will not sleep in bed. No way. And I have to put him on my chest, and I sleep in bed all night.
Yeah, I remember the moment I tried to lift him, he
Now,
would just
start crying.
screaming. So we had to learn to manage, and it was really tough because we didn't know what to do.
Yes.
And we got help, I remember, from my mom. She arrived when he was 12 days old.
Yes.
But even at that, it was never the same, because every time I heard him cry, and although my mom was there, I would always jump out of bed and just go there. You have to nurse the baby. You have to breastfeed your baby. Though my mom was there, I would always sit by her side to make sure baby was fine. And so it was really tough. I remember, sometimes walking into the room, and maybe he's been waiting for me for a few hours.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gone to nurse. She'll be back in an hour or whatever. And then I don't come back until 6 a.m.
And all the emotion is gone. All the feelings disappear.
And he's like, where have you been? I said, I had to nurture the baby. What do you want me to do?
Exactly.
So, those moments went on. And there were also times when he was asleep. Yeah. And we thought we could just steal the 1 hour or something.
Yeah.
Or steal the 30 minutes, have a little cuddle, and maybe lead on to romance and, real good
damaging, right?
But it never happened.
Start crying.
Because the moment he started cuddling, there he goes again.
Exactly, screaming.
And when my mom left, it even got worse.
Exactly, yeah.
And he would cry, and it took us a real,
it was a struggle.
Long time. It was a big struggle.
Yeah,
trying to sort out childcare, but the long and short of it was that at the end of the day, we decided what we wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Because we saw now that it was creating a problem. We although we still loved each other very much, we had become very distant from each other.
Absolutely. Distance. Yeah. I think we should talk more about that. Talk about that word, distance.
Yes.
A couple want to understand, and you have to do this very consciously.
Yes.
And because if you don't, unconsciously you begin to pull apart from each other. Yeah. And that love part of the two of you begin to diminish, unconsciously, because the child demands attention, and a man's needs is A man's needs.
We're also going to talk about the needs, because
Yes.
we also want the man to realize that, look, this child is a blessing and it's for both of you.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that we'll talk about that at some point, because we want us to realize that you're in this together.
Yes.
So it's not just feeling as though, oh, your wife has gone to look after the baby. You should also plug yourself in as a man. You know, that way it will help you not to feel left out. You know, so what we started doing, maybe let's delve into that. What we started doing is, when my mom left, I remember, so whenever the baby will cry, we'll both go in the room together. Right. Remember, because we had a bed just by the crib. Remember, there was because there was a room on the baby's room was, you know, there by itself. So we had a bed there. So when he would cry, we would actually bring him into that bed. The bed was in his nursing room, but we'll bring him into that bed. So we're both together with him in the bed. I remember there were times he would be in the middle, there were times we'll put him back, but we were there. So we started learning to bond together with him, even in the room with us. We started learning to bond, you know, feeling he no longer felt as though he was on his own. Yes. Because I think that was the problem. You were in another room. Yeah. So I was going to the next room, but now you're no longer in another room. We're together in this room. Absolutely. So we started having that mindset together, that we're together in this. It's not just me going away to be with the baby. Actually, this baby belongs to us. Absolutely. So I think that's for men. So rather than feeling like, oh, your wife is gone and the baby's taking over the space and all of that, you need to actually plug yourself in. What can you do? Change nappies. Yes, change nappies, be involved, feed the baby. While she's taking a little nap by her side, because you started doing all of that. Yes. And it really helped. There were times when I needed to sleep and you were the one feeding the baby. And I was going to say something. I think what you should have affects some couple is the fact that you like the child to be in another room. Because when two of you want to have your moment together, you don't want any just that you don't. But it's fine that the baby's in another room. I think as far as you're involved, that's a major thing, and I think that's one lesson I knew that especially need to learn. Absolutely. It's not because I understand you're happy, you're overwhelmed as well. This is your baby. You totally get that, but you must also plug yourself in that moment. Absolutely. Remember, you don't just also want to miss out on the moment, because once you miss it, the babies grow so fast. Absolutely. Before your very eyes, the baby will be 2 or 3 or 4, and then you're missing out on. So you also need to bond. So that's one of the lessons we learned, was that we needed to bond with this baby together, not just me bonding with the baby, which was the mistake we made the first few days and first few weeks. We decided to bond with the baby together. You were now involved. So I remember then when you returned from work, I would hand him over to you. I'm in the kitchen, and then we put him in the crib in the living room, and then we're all there singing and dancing, and so it became much more fun rather than a burden. You will understand that it's a very, very daunting task. Looking after a baby. Oh my goodness me. No. So 24/7. So let's not stops. Before we get to that. So what we just said to you is, when you start having a baby, your that stage would change. But you must, as a man, understand that your wife has now have another responsibility, which is to you and to the child, and as a child to mother relationship, the mother automatically have a stronger ties to that child. Well, that child is your child, and that woman, that your wife, she's giving everything, because the children. Having a child is very demanding. Absolutely. So you've got to appreciate your wife, that she's giving. Don't forget that before you met, she had ambition on what to become, what she want to study, she want to do this, she want to do that. But now she has to put all those plans on hold. So I really appreciate you, baby. Thank you so much. So a man, you got to understand that your wife now has another responsibility, and a very challenging one. So you've got to support her so much. Men, please, I want you to have the understanding that this your wife, this woman, are doing so well. They have their attention taken. After they have their body attention taken, their body taken, their shape, and also while you at work, she's been busy all day cleaning, lifting, arranging, cooking, and now at night she's tired, and the man just comes back home. What a satisfaction! My goodness me!
These women deserve an award, man. Imagine all day. So, so what we need to just do as a man is have the understanding that things are changing.
Yeah.
That she will not, her attention is now being divided.
Yeah.
Now, so don't feel left out. What you need to do, what I did was to get myself plugged in.
Yeah. You get yourself involved.
Yeah. So we brought the child into our room.
Yeah.
So we're together. So make sure we care for the child together. In fact, those days when I came home from work, I will take the child away from her so that she can have some moment herself. Yeah. Now, if I can support...
I remember we called it meantime.
Meantime, yeah.
Even if it was just 10 or 20 minutes, I found it very helpful.
Yes.
There were days when I would just soak myself in the bathtub. I wasn't doing anything. I just soaked myself in the... That was all I needed.
You're tired.
Because the ache and everything was real. The body ache and the headache, and you've not even been able to take a shower. No breathing space all day. Imagine you're even in the toilet and you have to carry your baby. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as a man, you and I, we need to learn that things are going to change. Just make sure that number one, you are involved.
That's it.
Number two, you appreciate your wife. Say, I love you. Thank you for caring for our child. Because if she's not caring for that child, you cannot go to work. The bottom line is, as a man, if you want to enjoy that stage of your life at that time, be involved with your wife. Yeah. Appreciate what she's doing. Tell her that you value everything, the sacrifices. Because it's sacrifices.
And what a lot of husbands need to realize is that your wife needs you more
at that time
than ever before. Because remember, she's also trying to navigate this new role.
New experience
new
entirely.
To her too, just like it's new to
you. It's new.
It's also new to her. She's trying to navigate, this whole motherhood thing. This whole new life.
You just try to navigate. It's a new experience entirely.
You both need a lot of patience.
Patience, yes.
You have to be extremely patient with each other, not snapping, not making negative remarks.
Yes.
Or even when you are upset, because sometimes the men do feel left out. Yeah. Like, why are you spending all your time with the baby? You need to be patient.
Your baby.
With your wife. She has no choice.
It's your baby. And I want to say to men, right? Okay. The other thing, one thing I did was, because I was an Arsenal fan. I love football, and I love to be out with the guys. Watching Friday, because it is Wednesday. Then it was Wednesday night when Arsenal playing. So I had to just go to Stratford, or go to Stratford in the UK. So I had to just travel, because you want to be in the atmosphere. It's loud, the excitement. Your team scored,
and your chips.
Exactly.
With the boys.
Exactly. So several times I will leave my wife at home. But one day I was going, and I heard my wife and my son like talking to my wife.
Guilty.
I felt really guilty that I left my wife at home. So that was the day my love for football began to. I still love my football team, but I now realize that I now have a responsibility. So as a man, you've got to understand that you now have two responsibilities.
And bring the fun home, because that's what you did. You sort of created, rather than going out, you sort of created.
Before I created that, initially, I remember I usually leave you at home with the child and go and watch football. Yeah. Now, because as a man, that's another need.
You wanted to escape.
Your social life. When you go to work this morning, you come back home, you don't just want to have your time to yourself. The boys are calling you, and Arsenal playing West Brom today. You're thinking, we have to nail them. Forgetting that you have a responsibility. So we must know that you are going to have responsibility. Yeah. And then from responsibility now become responsibilities.
Absolutely.
To your wife and to your newborn child. Yeah. So I came back home that day. I felt so bad. So I want us to understand as a man that you now have responsibilities. Your wife and your child.
Yeah. And to the wife, I would say that remember that you had a big baby before this new baby came. Because I think for me, the first few days and months, I think I just got carried away. Yeah. Like I was absolutely love struck in love with this new baby. The baby just came out of me. What do you expect? 9 months.
Exactly.
You know, so I remember I would even go when he's sleeping, I'll be checking to see his breathing. You know, you're just so in love with this new child. I'll go there and just put my hands over his face to make sure, oh, is he okay? Is he? And I think I was overdoing it. I think at some point I felt as if I was overdoing it. So what did I do? I began to befriend my husband again. So, you know, I'd spend time with him. Sometimes when we're changing nappies, I'd call you into it.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to be around. And we'll just talk and we'll just play like we used to do.
Yeah.
So gradually I started bringing in a little romantic flavor. And then we got our Friday night. Friday candle night, candle light dinner.
I think when we work together, when you work together, you are there with your teamwork. You are there with your wife changing nappies. It brings you together. So a man, let me say to you, don't leave your wife to do everything. No, your baby is crying. It's not your baby. It's not her baby. Come on, her baby is crying. That's the language. Use the word how.
And you should even pick up the baby too. When
yes,
baby is crying,
our baby, our baby, not your baby. Or your son is crying. You're just no, our baby. Yeah. So you are there. You are involved, and you both change the nappy together, and then when you are doing it together. It kind of
it sparks your intimacy
again.
You know, because you remember you're talking,
yes.
You're also laughing.
Yes.
You know, you're also getting to know your child.
Yes.
You're getting to know your child. You're getting to see how that child looks like you. Even that in itself, I think is absolutely fascinating. Our son, by the way, looks exactly like my husband. So credit to you.
Yes, boy.
So I think for him that was good. You know, we were changing nappies, we were talking, catching up on the day. I was telling you how my day went, and how the baby has been crying all day. You'd ask me, has he been feeding right, and that and that. You know, all of that really brought back our romantic life, intimacy. And then, you know, another thing is to couples, or especially husbands, we're not trying to hit at you, but we're just trying to help you. Now, is don't expect fireworks sex immediately after your baby has been born.
Yeah, so change.
You know, it takes your wife time to heal within her body. Remember, she's been carrying this life for 9 months. Yeah. So she's had 9 months of change, 9 months of hormonal displacement,
absolutely.
You know, things you can't even explain. So she's had this baby, she may still be healing. Maybe she's had cesarean, you know, operation, or she's had vaginal birth, or whatever, you know, she's had. And you shouldn't expect, you know, just as the sex as it used to be, just at the flick of a button. You need to be very patient with her. With all your kindness and everything would even help her healing.
The feeling that your kindness, the way you treat her at that time will speed up. In fact, that's the word. Speed up our healing.
Yes.
Our emotional healing, our psychological healing, our physical healing, and your healing as well. Because when she's healed, when she's found, you are fine. Absolutely. So we have a lot to do.
She can give the best of herself to you when she's well.
Absolutely.
You know, when a woman is unwell in her body, or her hormones are everywhere, or you frustrated her, or you said negative things. You know, I've heard women complain that their husbands within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they're complaining, your belly is big.
No, don't say that.
Stretch marks are
Come
ugly.
on, it's your wife.
That would even not help your wife yield to you sexually.
Don't destroy us. Don't destroy our self-esteem by your word. Build her. Support her. See, she's looking more beautiful, like new bread. No, aggregate bread. Do you understand that? I get bread, the fresh one.
We're Nigerians, by the way, so you will hear it pop up sometimes.
Now, I get bread is a bread in Nigeria. And
fresh loaf of bread.
Oh, God, is a lot. I get bread and then we're going. Oh, I love that. I love you, Nigeria. Love you, Nigeria. Love my country.